And I am going to quickly switch positions. This looks a little dark to me. Let me go ahead and see. Yeah, that's a lot better. I just think, it has a nicer view when I'm facing the other way, but that lighting was terrible. Okay, here we go. So, what are we going to talk about? Well, I want to talk about some data that came out recently. Some data I saw on in the Economist on LinkedIn, and it showed that everyone wants to be a founder since 2020, and there's more founders even now in 2023 and 2024, and that's the rejuvenation of the American spirit, and that everybody's ready to be an entrepreneur, and all of this, this raw stuff. Now, I am not a cynic, but I am a realist. And I cannot stand when something is brought to the public as an interpretation other than the absolute truth. So let's talk about what's really going on. From 2020 to 2022, for those of us that were in more aggressive states, we weren't allowed to work. Bills never stopped. Our mortgages didn't stop. Nothing stopped. We just weren't allowed to work. You couldn't go to a job. So people were doing what they had to do to survive. So yes, there was an increase in people trying to start businesses. And right now, with inflation where it's at, thanks to the Fed increasing currency by 50% in 2021 and creating one of the largest inflationary environments that we've dealt with in 40 years. Yes, in fact, people are starting businesses at a second job just to try to get by. To sugarcoat that into the rejuvenation of the American spirit is the same thing as saying, wow, look at the new jobs created in 2023. Look at the data. We were locked in our houses. People that were thrown out of work are now going back to work. This isn't the creation of jobs. Just like when you tell me that there's more founders from 2020 to 2024, that's the rejuvenation of the American spirit. I have news for you, and especially you young guys, you millennials, you Gen Zs that are on social media all the time, and entrepreneurship you feel is in your blood and you're going to go be the next big thing. I want to warn you about something, because they're not telling you the truth about what it's like to be a real entrepreneur, right? You're not going to move over to Vietnam and sit on the beach. Here's the truth about being an entrepreneur. And here's the truth about why that data made me so mad. The truth is, most entrepreneurs fail over and over and over and over. There are more mental health issues with entrepreneurs than in anything else you'll do in life. You can go get the worst job in the world. I don't care what they say the worst job is. You'll have more mental health issues, more breakdowns, more depression, anxiety. You'll have more anything you can imagine being an entrepreneur. It's not even close. It's not even a race. It's not even a conversation. That's the truth. Here's another truth for you. You think that you're going to have all this freedom. Freedom to do what? Build your business. Right. That's right. You do have that. You have the freedom to build your business. You have the freedom to work your ass off. Because if you think there's any comparison between what an entrepreneur does and what a guy in corporate America does, I have news for you. That's just not the case. Now, I'm only talking about the negatives. Are there positives? Yes. But wait, I'm not done yet. Being an entrepreneur, I'm going to be in charge of myself. I'm going to get out there and I'm going to network. Are you? So you're watching guys tell you how easy they did it or how they did it. What they don't tell you is how much luck comes into business. What they don't tell you is how being first matters. I'm not going to use the guy's name, but he was one of the first to go out there and really use social media. And I give him all the credit in the world, because guess who didn't? Me. I didn't. He did. And he had the foresight to do that. And I would praise him all day, every day, twice on Sunday for doing that. I didn't, but he did. But let me tell you something. Now he's out there telling you all to go build your businesses and go make your dreams happen. What he's not telling you is that he spends over $1 million a month on his social media campaigning. $1 million a month. He's saturating the market. The talent that he had to get started had nothing to do with the fact that he knew the angles of social media. Wow, you know how to use locations. Amazing. You know how to tell if there's more click throughs on this ad or that ad. Whoa. There's no secret here, folks. You are going to work until you drop. And when you drop, someone's going to have to throw a bucket of water at you so you can start again. Now, if that bothers you, bye, adios. That is reality. That's the reality of being an entrepreneur. I'm not going to sit here to try to make you feel good about it. It's the toughest road you'll ever take. It also has possibly the biggest payoff you'll ever make. You can have more payoff being an entrepreneur than you can have anywhere else in your financial life, in your business life. Goes without saying. At a certain point, you can potentially have more freedom than anyone you've ever met, anyone you've ever heard of, anyone you've ever, dealt with. You can live in places others can't. You can do things others can't do. That's all true. That's all true. 100% true. I had somebody comment earlier on LinkedIn saying that entrepreneurship was for those with money because they can afford to wait for funding that never comes and that they're never going to get it. It was something along those lines. And I have news for all of you. I come from nothing, and I am not shy about that one bit. I grew up in a trailer park. I know what it's like to be hungry, actually hungry, without food. Not ashamed at all. My first bicycle I built in the trailer park garbage dump. I went down there. I found a cracked frame, found a couple of wheels. I put the whole bike together. I built the bike. It took me like a month, but I found all the parts and I looked through the dump and I did it. And it felt good, and I had a bike, and I had a bike that worked well, and I also understood how bikes work. So when others had bikes that were broken or they would throw them away for whatever reason, I would fix them and resell them. It wasn't bad. I was a child. I'm not talking about an old guy here. I'm talking about, I'm in third grade. I'm 8. I'm 7. I'm 6. This is the stuff I was doing. And I'll tell you that being an entrepreneur has so much more to do than it has so much more to do with you. Your ability to multitask, your ability to learn new tasks very quickly, understand how things work, understand how your team works. You have to be a conflict negotiator so that everybody's moving at the same time. You have to be not a penny pincher, but you have to understand your money very well. You have to be amazing at budgeting. There are so many talents that go into being an entrepreneur. Is money something that helps? Once you possess those talents, money will set you free. Money will turn you from nothing that no one's ever heard of into something big. And I mean very big, but not until you've learned those skills. Until you've learned those skills, money is nothing more than something you're going to burn. Now, you'll have to find that out for yourself if you choose to go down this route. Now, the reason I'm making this, the reason I'm doing this live is very simple. When I read that Economist thing, it really gets to me. I don't like the misleading that I see go on all the time. I don't like that they tell these young generations they're going to be day traders and they're going to be any good at it. You're not. 99% of you stand no chance. 5% of you, 4% of you can probably do it and get away with it. Maybe you'll make 6 figures doing it. Incredible stress staring at the screen. 0.1% of you will blow it up and absolutely be wealthy from it, without a doubt. And some of that will be because of who you are and what you are. And that is the field for you, because one of the things that you're going to find in a skill like day trading is patience. Not Texas Hold'em, folks. You're not supposed to be in there throwing down the big and the little on every hand. You're not. If you can't wait, if you can't be patient, you're going to fail. Same thing goes with entrepreneurship. And I try to keep it real. And when I see things like the American spirit rejuvenated, it pisses me off to my core, because the American spirit's never been lost. It's never been lost. What the heck are you talking about? It's being rejuvenated. It's here. It's alive. It's well. It's being suppressed by giant international conglomerates the corporations that are buying our politicians, buying our laws, stomping out small business. And whether you like it or not, it's places like California that are helping small businesses make a comeback. I know their taxes are expensive. They're this, they're that. They also have programs so that if you want to scrape by and try to build a business, it's possible here. Go try to do that. Go try to do that somewhere else. Go do it in Texas. Go do it in Florida. Why do you think the big tech companies that have already made it, like they're already big, why do you think they've left California? Because it doesn't really serve their interest anymore. If your interest is to pay low taxes, low cost, not have to take care of employees to any standard whatsoever, you can't be in California. But if you want to start a business and you want to work in an environment that maybe you could find somewhat positive. I know what Elon said about the Twitter folks and how they were all sitting in these cubicles watching movies. I don't know how much of this is true. I don't believe what I see on the internet. I'm sorry. That didn't look real to me. Maybe it was. I have no idea. And I'm not calling out Elon Musk. This isn't me trying to get clout or have somebody tag somebody. I'm not going to tag anybody in this. I just see a lot of stuff that looks like messy to me. It doesn't look right. And let me tell you something. I am one of those guys that knows that sometimes for the greater good, you have to make sacrifices. You might pay a little more in taxes. You might have to do a little more for someone else. You might have to be a white guy with blue eyes listening to how you have privilege when you were raised on welfare at a trailer park and, abused and beaten by every stepfather that came down the road. You might have to listen to that. It's part of the game. Because if you don't listen to that, then people that don't have it so well, that aren't well represented, never stand a chance. And believe me, I don't like hearing those things. I don't like hearing those things because there are many, 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 many people of color, many people of different races, different, what is it now? I don't even know if you call it sexual orientation anymore. Those people have had it far better than I've ever had it. Far better, so far beyond better than I've had it that it would blow your mind, okay? And I listen to it anyway, and I go, truth is, I do run in the circle that tends to run things. Is that even true anymore? I don't know. From an objective point of view, I'm not sure. I'm not sure anymore. I'm not going to point to the fact that, you had this guy as president or that person's done this or this person's done that or what city's run by who. I don't know if it's true anymore. But what I do know is this, that sometimes to make things better, you have to be willing to sacrifice a little of something of yourself. And if you're not willing to do that anymore, then you can't really be an environment that could help things change, help things thrive once again. I do believe small business and entrepreneurs are what we need in this country. I do believe these giant corporations should have their this Supreme Court ruling overturned. They're not people. They shouldn't be treated as people, and they shouldn't be allowed to buy politicians. They shouldn't have the giant lobbyists that they have, right? We shouldn't be arguing over whether or not certain medications are dangerous that are obviously dangerous. You can see that. We shouldn't be arguing over whether or not animal fats or sugar is worse for you. It's sugar, believe me. We shouldn't be arguing over these things, but do you know why we do? Because these giant corporations own and run everything. They control the lobbyists, they control the politicians, they control you. And so I'm making this video because when I see information like that, I want to warn you all. I think it's exactly what needs to be done. I hope it works, and I will be here talking the whole time. I've been an entrepreneur since I was 18 years old. I did 17 years as a financial advisor. 11 of those years was for myself under my own roof. The other 2 were at Merrill Lynch and Wells Fargo Advisors. And let me tell you something. That was still entrepreneurship. They did nothing for me there. I had to go find my own clients. I was the black sheep. I didn't fit in. Didn't matter to me. I was happy to do it. But I want you to remember something. This fake crap, you're going to have all this time off and you're going to be free and all of this stuff. No, you're not. Most of my friends, I'm 45 years old. Most of my friends that are in their 40s now, they live a lot more cush than I do. They took the corporate route. Now, I'll tell you this. I've led a very different life than they have too. We live very, very different. So it's not one is better or worse. But when I see that in entrepreneurship is picked up in 2020 to 2024, and we're going to pretend that something has changed other than governments thought they had the right to tell people that they could or could not work. And then because they increased currency circulation, the U.S. Currency in circulation by 50% in 2021, creating one of the largest inflationary environments in 40 years, that everybody's getting a second job or trying to have a side gig, trying to say that that's some revitalization of some American spirit that's been lost. I take offense, because there's been no American spirit lost. We're right here. We're right here. We've been here. And I am not a division guy. So let me tell you something. This has nothing to do. That's why when I saw that remark on LinkedIn about, oh, you have to be wealthy, you have to be this. It's like, hey, I used to think those things too, because I didn't come from anything. I thought money was the cure for everything, but it's not. There are so many abilities and talents you will have to perfect to really, truly make it running a business. Now, is there something to be said for the fact that you come from money and perhaps your dad was a businessman? Yeah, sure. I mean, he probably taught you how to carry some of those things at home on your own day to day. So if someone plops money in your lap, you're going to do quite well with it. Whereas, someone who doesn't come from much and isn't really aware of how the world works, you could plop 5 million in his lap and he'll probably burn through it in a couple of years and just go, what the heck was that? I can't believe that didn't work. And it didn't work because you just didn't know enough. Now, that is it. I just, when I see information like that, I can't take it. One of the big things I do in my courses, I do one-on-one training, by the way, for investing, for trading and investing, not day trading, for long-term and intermediate-term trading and investing. It's for people that are looking to spend a half an hour a week avoiding major bear markets and looking for strength in markets and weakness in markets. And I see information manipulated in that arena so often that when I see it manipulated in other arenas, it just drives me absolutely batty. All right. Hey, listen. Thanks for joining me. I'm so glad you had me. I hope this didn't come off negative. I just want it to come off honest. I'm a passionate guy. This is the way I talk. If you don't like it, I suppose you'll just tune out. Yeah, I had to have that had to be said. And for those of you that are bound and determined to become entrepreneurs and small business owners, I say go for it. Just realize this: you are going to have to control mind, body, and spirit every single day. And once you learn how to control mind, body, and spirit every single day, then you have a lot to learn about business. But as you learn about business, you're going to have a chance to become something that very few have a chance to become. And that's actually free. That is at the end of the road. Real freedom is at the end of that road. All right. Thank you so much. And again, I say this after every episode because this is true. If you are having any mental health issues, if anything's bothering you, stay positive. Remember, you are not alone. We are all going through it in one way or another. And some days are really bad days and some days are really good days. And if you're having a bad day, listen, we're here with you. We care about you. You're worth it. Stay positive. Find anything that'll make you happy. Tomorrow is a new day. Thank you so much for joining me, and I'll see you next time.